話を見直してください。ポッドキャスタディ。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Weeb Shit Monday. Today I'm going to be talking about Tokyo Demon Bride Story, a new manga I picked up a while ago, and it was only in chapter 2, I believe, last time I finished it. So I read about 2 chapters. It intrigued the ever-loving shit out of me, but I had to stop it because, you know, obviously 2 chapters, and I'm not going to get too soaked into a story, and I forgot about it for a clean, I don't know, 4 months. And then I was scrolling through Twitter on my lunch break, and I went, damn, this panel goes kind of hard. It was a panel where a queen, I want to say, says you can either cut off 3 of your fingers or gouge out your eyes to save the princess. You're like, oh, shit, I got to look this up to see what it is. So I look up what the panel's from, and it's from the manga that I read a while back. So I thought, oh, it gets real good. Come to find out, I'm like 26 something behind. So I burned through it all today, and of course, it's Weeb Shit Monday, so what a better place to talk about it. Now, we're not going to be reviewing it. We're just going to be discussing it because it's still in its infancy stages. So I really don't have that much to go off of. I don't have a lot of really story to base it off of. I don't have a lot of panels to go off of. I just have 28 chapters of baseline story that they're trying to build their feet off of. So I'm not going to be that brutal on it as I would be a completed story. The first couple things that I do like the simplicity of the art style. One thing about shonen is they know how to keep the art style very simple. Of course, you have your fight scenes where everything blows out of proportion, everything goes wild, and there's fight scenes and shit exploding everywhere. But then when it comes to human interaction between one another, it's very simple. It's very, you know who's talking to who, and you don't have to debate, okay, fuck, was this a person I seen 3 chapters ago that I don't fucking remember, now they're the big key component? Or was this a big character like 2 arcs ago that just now appeared, that Beckley appeared? No. When all of the characters in this have a conversation, you know who is talking to who. So again, love shonen art. Love it to death, and this is a prime example of it. 2, I love the simple story. It's nothing too complex. It's a brain scratcher. It's simply about a demon princess who vows to marry her friend that saved her when they were both 7 years old. And now 10 years later, she's returned to find him so they can be newlyweds, so they can wed and live happily ever after. But of course, demon princess, there's gonna be more demons after him. And then come to find out later, he's a half-blood or a special blood, which means he's going to have demons hunting. Do you see where this is going? It's not a very complex story, but it's enough to keep the brain muscle going. So we find out, of course, that he's a half-blood and that other demons are going to try and hunt him because it's a special type of blood. So Monica, the demon princess, says, I will be the one to protect you. And we get different demons, which the interactions with the demons themselves aren't really that special. They don't really stand out as much as they should. There hasn't been a big villain so far. There's not been a gigantic villain that's the major arcing antagonist. It's mostly been these little side villains like the demon who loves sumo, or the demon who protects fish. It's nothing really eye-catching in enemy-wise. It's more the interactions between the main character, his sisters, and the demon princess. That's it. The rest of it's just kind of like they go into a fight, Monica whoops some ass, dunzo. That's it. And then we throw more characters into this. We throw in Frog Girl, who gets introduced as the very first demon they fight. She gets her ass whooped, obviously, first panel fight, her first chapter fight, and she gets her ass absolutely handed to her. And, was expecting it. But it's going to turn into it's a harem anime, or it's a harem manga, and I will argue this because it is slowly turning into one. Every time they fight a demon, or a demon that was in the same generation as the demon princess, they always join the family. They always join the main character's family, and you know what's going to happen. So far, they have I can't remember names right now. They have the frog girl, the cat girl, the demon girl, and then they have the ninja. And another pro of this story is how jealous Monica gets whenever a new girl, quote unquote, whenever a new girl gets close to the main character, like even just talking or saying she has a crush, it's always like Monica being, these hands, okay, you touch my man, these hands are rated E for everybody. That is mine. You touch him, I'm kicking you into New Tokyo. There's not even a New Tokyo, but that's where you're going. You keep touching my man. It's simple little shit like that that kind of brings you in and makes you appreciate the rom-comness of it when you have demons and stuff surrounding it. Of course, it's a rom-comedy, and every time they bring it up, they're like, we have to remember that she's just a child, so she obviously, doesn't know what jealousy is or how bad jealousy is, but it just keeps progressing. Like I said, this manga is still in its infancy, so there's really not a whole lot, but I can say the pros outweigh the cons. The couple cons I have are, as I stated before, there's no real villains per se. There's no real big villains that have been appearing. So there's really nothing to catch your eye, as in like, oh, I know who this is. He's ready for a fight. I mean, okay. And then really the villain to friend aspect, I liked it in the beginning when they got the frog girl and the cat girl into it. I was like, okay, that's cute. They got the villain to friend dynamic going on with two of the quote unquote, as I said, villains to join their little family. That was nice. That was cool to see. But then it got kind of old. That there was no real characters, and every time they go up against somebody new, you don't feel tension in fights. That's one of my big problems, is you don't feel tension in fights. It's just, you go into a fight, you know they're going to win. They haven't lost a single fight. There's been no conflict where they need to train to get stronger or learn a better dynamic to attack a group of opponents. And that's always just, oh no, family. Monica plop, cracks him out of fucking nowhere. Boom, fight's done. We go back to average bullshit. We go back to the average story that we've been dealing with. So those are the chapters that are kind of lackluster because you expect a big fight and you get let down. And that is a giant problem when it comes to shonen that I really hope doesn't continue. Like, I want this story to do good. Even though it's in infancy, I see it having a big audience and a big fan base, but it needs to grow more. If it doesn't want to be a fighting shonen manga, by all means, don't go there if you do not want to go there. Do not push a genre that you do not want to do. But just give us a little bit more if you want to throw fight scenes in. That's all I'm going to say. It's a cool story. Just don't push a genre that you don't know how to work with. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to put out into the ether. If you don't know how to work the genre, don't. Just leave it where it sits. Leave it where it sits. Please, for the love of God, please. And of course, another trope. I'm a sucker for good, like, shonen tropes. Of course, the main character is a royal blood. Now, if you don't know what a royal blood means, none of us fucking do. So far. That's what it means. Nobody knows what a royal blood is, except it stemmed from a warrior from 800 years ago that fought the great demons, or the invincible demon that almost destroyed civilization 800 years ago, and he destroyed the demon using a baseball bat. That's it. Like I say, I'm not doing justice to this because it sounds very simple, but it is entertaining. That's really all I have to say about this much. I really hope that some of this kind of stuck with you to make you want to go read it. Because definitely 3.5 stars out of 5. I would give this to at least give it a chance. You don't need to read it fully, but go give it a chance. Tokyo Demon Bride story. It's on the Shonen Jump app. You can go read it. Full send it. Now, everybody, this has been another episode of Weeb Shit Monday. I am your host, the Podcast Eddie. If you want to see my slow decline into madness, go to twitter.com/enoughsnuff. If you would like to see my beautiful face, go to instagram.com/Podcast Eddie. If you want to hear the audio versions of this, go to any podcasting platform. Simply look up the Podcast Eddie Variety Show. Boom, there I am. If you want to watch the video version of this, where you can see my hands move around like I'm a crackhead, go to youtube.com/Podcast Eddie. And that is all I have for this week, ladies and gentlemen. As always, have a great day, have a wonderful night, and as always, please keep your balls clean.